Hi class, so today we have super short notes. Super short notes. We're gonna look at a few examples here, but as long as you've been okay with graphing and you did okay on the quiz, really you can sort of decide what and if you need to write any of this down. Because if you knew how to do the other stuff, it's just pulling in that same idea. There's not really a whole lot new that we're adding to it. So what we are looking at today is writing equations of quadratics. Okay. And everything that we're looking at today, we're going to be writing the equation of a quadratic in vertex form. So you'll be given a graph similar to this parabola, right, that we have here. We will know just by looking at it that this is a quadratic because it is a parabola, right? That U shape means it has to be a parabola. And remember, we talked about the idea that whenever we are graphing a quadratic, there's a couple formulas that it can come in. Okay, and all the graphs that we'll be looking at writing today are going to be able to fit into this equation, y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. Okay, and so it's going to be our job to fill in the A, to fill in the H. Now, keep in mind, we'll also have to fill in whatever the sign is of H, and then as well as the K, and then, again, whatever sign goes with the K, right? So really what we'll be doing is y equals blank. Okay, and then we'll be filling in two blanks here, and then we'll be filling in two more blanks here. And we'll be able to get all of those values and numbers just by looking at the graph. Okay, so the first thing that we should remember is that the A value tells us if the graph opens up or if it opens down. So if the graph is opening up like a U, we know that our A value is going to equal 1. And if it is opening down, we know that our A value is going to be -1. So in this case, our parabola is opening up. So we know in the blank where A goes, we can fill in a value of +1. Now, one thing to keep in mind, while we don't have to write that 1 down, if I'm asking you to fill in a blank, you need to put a number there. So make sure you're writing down that 1 or typing in the 1 so that I actually know what value you're thinking of. Okay, then the H and the K we can determine by finding the vertex. And remember, the vertex is that high or low point. So in this case, right, it's this very bottom of the parabola right here. This is our vertex. So we're going to name this ordered pair. So instead of plotting the ordered pair, right, we're now going to get the name of the ordered pair. So this is the ordered pair x, comma y, 2, comma 4. Okay, and we know that the vertex is always the ordered pair x, comma y. So this tells us that our x value should be 2 and our y value should be 4. And remember that x and that y for the vertex was really h, comma k. So we know h is 2 and we know k is 4. Okay, now when we go to fill those in our blanks, right, our h value of 2 is going here, but it's always the opposite sign. So it was a +2 up here. So this is telling us that we want a -2. And our k value stays the same. So it was a +4. So I'll put a +4. Okay, and then this is just our answer. Okay, so let's look at another one. So for given this, again, we're filling in these same blanks every single time. So we know this parabola opens down. So we know we want our A value to be -1. Our vertex, which is right here, is the ordered pair -6, comma -2. So we know that our H value is -6. Oh, this is a -3. 1, 2, 3. I can't count very well. That's a -3. Okay, and that our K value is -3. Okay, so in our equation, -6 is going to become a +6, right? Because this is always the opposite sign. And our K value stays the same. right? And so the equation of our line is just y equals -1, x plus 6 squared minus 3. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. I just want to look at what happens if we have some zeros in there. Okay, so let's look at this graph. I'm going to write on the top here so we can see them both. Okay, so this parabola opens up. So we know our a value goes in front. So we know we want that to be a positive one. Now our vertex here is the ordered pair 0, 4. So once again, it's fine that our h value is 0, but we have to have a blank filled in. So normally we wouldn't necessarily put like a plus or a -0, but because we have a blank here to fill in, and that's how it's going to be in your assignment tonight, we're going to put that in there. Okay, now whether you put a -0 or a +0 isn't going to matter. You would be counted right either way, right? Because 0, adding 0 or subtracting 0, it's all the same thing. Okay, and then our k will be a +4. Last graph. Again, I'm no tricks up my sleeve, same thing. So our parabola opens down. So our a value is always that, right? If it's opening up, it's a +1. If it's opening down, it is a -1. I'm going to name my vertex. This is the ordered pair -2, 0, right? X, y, which is the same thing as h, k. So my h is -2, and when I plug that in, it is always the opposite sign. So the opposite of a -2 is a +2. Okay, my k is 0. So whether, again, I put a +0 here or a -0, it wouldn't matter. You just have to make sure that you're filling in every single blank. Okay, so you just have a few problems to do for your assignment tonight. It's the end of the week in terms of e-learning, so have a great weekend.